Hey guys, no Zoup for you here, and I think for the most part you would agree that when it comes to ships I'm pretty even-keeled, no pun intended. When I do my reviews, I try to stay kind of neutral. I don't like throwing out the term overpowered and underpowered, and I think that just really goes along with my average Joe, just fun gameplay type approach to things, the non-tournament aspect. So there's few ships that come out that really get me amped up. Now a lot of ships come out that I get excited about, but few really put me into a tizzy. That being said, I'm gonna hope this does not turn into a rant. And I'm just gonna come out right now and say it. The new Tirpitz mega buff, I am not happy with it. And for those of you that are not in the know right now, the most recent patch that came out on 4.19, the Tirpitz has been buffed significantly, and it was just one thing that was buffed: the secondaries. And when I say the secondaries were buffed, it wasn't just a minor buff. The secondaries are now in line with that of the Bismarck and other high-tier German battleships. And personally, I disagree with this. I am not happy with this buff whatsoever. You might say, oh, Zoup, why aren't you happy? I mean, it's a premium battleship, and it's in line with the Bismarck now. Well, I'll tell you why I'm not happy about it. It completely invalidates and negates the purpose of the Bismarck. And again, we have a premium ship that is, and I hate to throw it out, but I'm going to say it, the Tirpitz, I think, is going to be overpowered. A lot of people said it was when it first came out. I didn't think it was. But now, with these changes, I think it has the propensity to be overpowered. And here's why. Right now, I think the Bismarck, while not overpowered, clearly outmatches the other ships in its tier, at least battleships. Yes, I know, North Carolina is a great battleship. Yes, I know, the Amagi is a great battleship. Actually, I enjoy all the Tier 8 battleships, but the Bismarck just has so many more applications, especially when it comes to ranked gameplay because of those secondaries. It's those secondaries that sets the Bismarck apart. You just cannot approach it without getting a full side of hurt put on you, especially if you're a destroyer. Throw Hydro into the mix and you have a ship that is just very multifaceted, and it just works very, very well. Enter the Tirpitz, which did not have those secondaries. It was a different style of play. Both ships were brawlers. The Tirpitz and the Bismarck are brawlers, but both have different roles. The Tirpitz is for the more cavalier player that likes to take risks, that likes to go in and use those torpedoes. The Bismarck, you don't have to get as close as you do a Tirpitz. Those secondaries can reach out and touch someone from 10.6 kilometers. That is phenomenal. The Tirpitz could not. But for the player that was willing, to charge and get up there and get in someone's faces, the reward was significant with those torpedoes. Now, with this buff, the Bismarck is completely invalidated. Why would I want to play the Bismarck, which I thoroughly enjoyed? It was my go-to Tier 8 battleship. Why would I want to play that now when I have a Tirpitz and my secondaries are the exact same as the Bismarck? And oh, by the way, on top of that, I've got torpedoes. Yeah, okay, so the Tirpitz doesn't have Hydro. I can live without that. Especially with the rudder shift adjustment. You know, I can turn a little quicker now. I can dodge a little better. So I don't need Hydro as much. I'm not concerned about that. Another thing to keep in mind about the Bismarck, and the selling point of the Bismarck being its Hydro, is that its Hydro is no longer what it used to be. If you recall, it was nerfed not too long ago. This takes away a significant advantage to the hydroacoustic perk that the Bismarck once had. It no longer has very, very good hydroacoustic. This, in my opinion, was a poorly thought out decision. I was fine with these sister ships having significant trade-offs. One being secondaries, the other being torpedoes. I think it really balanced things out and it separated the ships from each other. As it was a good decision. And there's been plenty of games where I've played with buddies and one of us has taken the Bismarck and one has taken the Tirpitz, because combined, they brought two separate things to the table that complemented each other. That no longer exists. And I think what's going to happen now is most people that played the Bismarck, if they have the Tirpitz, are going to stick with the Tirpitz, because there is really no reason to play the Bismarck anymore. And that is unfortunate, in my opinion. Once again, this is another example of a premium ship just being taken to a new level. And for what purpose? I have no idea why. Although I suspect it probably has to do with money. And again, I don't want to get into that side of things. I don't begrudge making a profit. And I'm sure there were some financial decisions behind this to make the ship viable again. Because it's been a long time since the Tirpitz was released. So I get that. But I don't have to agree with it. And I don't agree with it. I don't like this decision one bit. Not at all. And the reason for that is it has made the Tirpitz, in my opinion, significantly better than its in-tier counterpart, the Bismarck. And the Bismarck was a great ship. The Bismarck is a lot of fun. The Bismarck has punishing secondaries. The Bismarck is just an absolute beast and a fearsome ship to go up against. If the Bismarck is in its own tier, if it's evenly tiered by matchmaking, it's nigh unstoppable with the right player. Now, the Tirpitz, having those exact same secondaries, this ship will be overpowered now. And I don't like throwing that out there, but really, when you have those secondaries, when you have that range, coupled with torpedoes, I know how this is going to play out. You know, you're going to have Tirpitzes now that are popping off at 10.6 kilometers. Other ships are going to start to flee. They're going to try to flee. The Tirpitz is just going to push forward and torp the hell out of everything out there. I mean, it's going to be nasty. This is going to be an absolutely nasty ship. And this was a nasty decision. I just don't agree with it. It was great having two sister ships with two very different functions. One with secondaries, one with torpedoes. And I know I've said that, but I want to hit on it again. I don't know where this decision came from. I don't like this decision. I don't agree with this decision. But that's me. And this is me thinking that this is what's going to happen. Bismarck is going to pretty much disappear for those individuals that have the Tirpitz, like myself, because I've got the Tirpitz and the Bismarck, and I kept the Bismarck. I bought the Bismarck Premium Camouflage because I thought this was always going to be the Tier 8 ship that I was going to play. The Tirpitz, though I liked it, I just went for the Bismarck because I like the secondary so much more, and now that the Tirpitz has those secondaries, I have no reason to play the Bismarck. I really don't. There's nothing stopping me from using the Tirpitz now. And that Hydro that the Bismarck has, that's not a big enough selling point for me when the Tirpitz has torpedoes and 10.6 kilometer secondaries. So I think for the majority of the players out there that have both ships, the Bismarck is going to be put back on the shelf and the Tirpitz is going to be the go-to. That is my intuition. That is what I feel is going to happen. So, guys, let me know what you think. Do you agree with this move? Do you think this was a wise move on the part of Wargaming? If you are a Bismarck player, tell me your feelings about this. Let me know what you're thinking. Do you agree with this move? If you own both ships, tell me what you plan on playing more now. Are you going to stick with the Bismarck if you primarily main the Bismarck and have the Tirpitz on the shelf? Or after this move, after the decision to make the secondaries the exact same, are you going to go back to the Tirpitz like I am? Do you see a need to play the Bismarck anymore? And please, by all means, give me your opinions on this in general. Do you think this move was a good idea based upon some of the controversy the premiums have the ability to create just because they are more powerful than their in-tier counterparts? Sometimes, not always. Sometimes. Does this move just kind of muddy the field and make it seem like Wargaming is deliberately making premiums better? I don't know. I am very, very interested to see what you, the community, think about this move, and whether or not you agree with this move and what Wargaming has done to the Tirpitz. Because to me, honestly, I think this was an absolute head-scratcher. I don't agree with it, I don't like it, but I'm gonna enjoy the Tirpitz. I'm just telling you right now. It is gonna be my go-to ship now, especially in Ranked. If Ranked goes back up to Tier 8, you're gonna see the Tirpitz everywhere. Just like in the early seasons of Ranked gameplay. So that's just the way it's gonna be. Anyhow, guys, let me know what you think, and I will catch you all later. I am out.